Pluto. Pluto is a tricky planet because it represents both our personal inner power, but also where we can experience intense situations that literally transform us from the inside out as people. And it also can be where we experience control issues and power struggles between people because the people, like humans, we tend to, as a society, want power because when you have power, you're less susceptible to injury and, other people being able to hurt you. So it's an instinctual kind of desire for humans to want a sense of power in their lives. And a lot of times people try and kind of have power over other people or try and take other people's power or hold down other people's power. So that's why Pluto in our charts is a very tricky and kind of an intense placement. It is a generational planet. So, for example, like the millennial generation, we mostly have Scorpio, Pluto and Scorpio, which Pluto does like to be in Scorpio, but it is because it's the planet of transformation, and Scorpio is also about transformation and intensity. During our childhoods, a lot of us had very intense situations while growing up. That's like the generational aspect of it. But in our own personal charts, for example, if you have Pluto in your third house, then you have a lot of personal power when it comes to speaking and your thoughts and communicating like your internal thoughts and your interest. And it also, the third house also involves like siblings. So you could have some power or control issues with siblings. And for example, if you have Pluto in the 11th house, you can have a lot of power when it comes to groups and friendship groups. And, like even if it's just like a neighborhood group, you can have a lot of power in group situations, but then you can also have control and power issues when it comes to friendships and groups as well. So that's what makes Pluto a bit tricky. So if we can find the balance of accessing our personal power along with learning how to navigate situations that may come up where power and control struggle issues come up, that's really the thing about Pluto. And a lot of times we can't help what situations come up because we can't control other people's actions. We can only control our own, and that is part of the transformative nature of Pluto as well, is that these situations will come up and be beyond our control a lot of times, because it's helping us learn and change and grow. So that's kind of the nature of Pluto, and there's so much that also goes into it. I mean, Pluto is also about like repressed desires go into it, and like secrets, taboo thoughts and feelings or interests, things like that, especially depending on where Pluto is placed in your chart. So there's just so much to it because Pluto represents like the underworld, and everything that goes into the underworld are things that, eventually it's like things that people don't want to address, but things that help keep society going, kind of thing. Like we need the sewer systems to keep, above ground clean, and so that we don't get sick. It's kind of like that when you think about Pluto and the transformative, but also the dark aspects where people don't want to look at it, people don't want to talk about it. So that's just like a little rundown on Pluto.